Great, so let's continue our presentations. Next on stage is Bogdans Jarbuss. He's a system integrator, cloud integration practice lead in Accenture Baltics. He helps clients in their journey to the cloud, and he said he's going to talk about less about himself and more about the client. And the talk is about cloud, enabling public cloud for clients in a public sector. So let's listen to what Bogdan has to share with us. First time at Build Stuff. So let's meet with a round of applause, right? Bogdans, welcome you on stage.
Thank you. Thank you. 7 years, one client, and 200,000 customers served. Is it like a big amount of, or not? For some people, they can say, okay, 7 years in one project, it's a two-way long. I can change the job, I can make a child, I can buy the house or move the premises. For some people, they think 7 years is fine. I'm working in application maintenance projects for 10 years and all is good. And today I want to tell you the story, actually a few stories about the client with whom we spent 7 years building the digital services and improving their ways of working. And that's like a big paradigm shift, because modern ways of working and modern technologies is not always associated with clients operating in the government sector, unfortunately. But that's the trick. Because in the public sector, many companies, they're doing many more interesting services and offerings. For example, what our client is saying, that the objective is to increase customer good and well-being and overall development and satisfaction. And they want to provide those services to the citizens in a very efficient way. Sounds very solid and sounds like a very big mission and story. But what is behind? I'll tell you a story about how Accenture helped customer to develop their services. And by services especially mean those ones which are related specifically to people, to governments, people and citizens who are working in that country. They're paying compensations and benefits for some bad situation happening in the life of people. They're paying business code support for the legal entities who are suffering from the business losses. They also are providing much more another compensation services. So it's like a government organization who is not grabbing the taxes and the money. They're actually giving this to people who need it. And my storyline will consist of 4 parts. And I will start with the first one, which is digitalization services and develop Microsoft Azure-based portal. A couple of years ago, it was a big deal. Not many customers have used self-service portal. And I remember one day we went to the customer premises. It was Finland, it was Helsinki, it was February, it was cold, and in one room, pretty much a little bit smaller than this room, client product owners said, hey, you know, our business processes are pretty much old and traditional. Can you imagine, can you do some digitalization services for us? And our team stepped into it and then created a prototype after 4 weeks. And then this prototype was built in Amazon Web Services, AWS infrastructure. It was serverless. It was nice and small, and we prepared some basic features like a screen when person can apply and request some type of compensations. Then the prototype was shown to the product owners, and everybody was happy. And the Then a couple of days later, when the contract was signed, client product owner came into the room and said, I'm reading the contract, and it's saying that Accenture have to develop digitalization services on Microsoft Azure platform. And everybody was like, really? But then the integration architect was a little bit thinking and say, okay, give us some days, we think what we can do. And after a few days, this architecture was developed. It was presented towards the client. And this is classical serverless architecture built in Microsoft Azure. Without going very deep into the details, it provides a lot of services which are needed for the portal to be functioning. The portal was written on the Angular TypeScript, and beneath there are some important aspects like functions, like application gateway, virtual networks for networking, CosmoDB that stores all the application data, DevOps pipelines, and additional services like antivirus component, virtual network for networking, then functions, DevOps stuff, Key Vault for the services. So that all solution was built in Azure, and it was actually translated from AWS into the Azure thanks to the serverless architecture. And that was pure native cloud. But then some integration layer still was sitting on the customer on-prem solution. So that was like a native cloud mixed with on-prem installations, which kind of gives a hybrid cloud solution. Then all the data, all the applications went into the backend application for the processing. This application, this service was launched a couple of months. Everything is working good. There were different applications served, but then it was pre-COVID situation. But then when COVID hits, there was agenda for the business completely changed. There was a need to create one business cost support application, which will need to support many customers, like 250,000 companies who suffered and who started to lose their business because of COVID situation. And again, thanks to the Azure platform, together with client, we analyzed how many applications can be for the day one when this application to be launched. And they were estimated about 2,000. Imagine when you're reading in the news that, hey, government is opening applications for subsidy, many companies start to apply. And such components like functions, like application gateway and Cosmo database were scaled. They were switched into another plan that allows to handle more compute power to process these application peaks. In fact, during Go Live, it was not 2,000 applications, it was 10,000 applications per day. But thanks to the kind of Azure and scalability, nothing was lost, nothing was forgotten. All the applications were processed as needed. And that was big success because during these pandemic times, our client has managed to process and pay out nearly €1 billion as a subsidies. So amazing number. And also thanks to the service that everybody was served, government also granted many and awarded this organization many famous awards, including a design award, including a best service from the public. So this is, and the customer satisfaction was also quite high on here. So this is one example how Azure solution, how cloud solution can build strong services Then the next story still continues. It was a couple of months ago when our client decided that, hey, cloud agenda is good and cloud strategy is very solid. So let's continue this journey. Let's leverage the solution where to put all the databases that contains customer data also to the public cloud. And that was a big deal because there were a lot of fear and uncertainty. How is possible to move data which located in the customer premises in data center, completely secured place into some public cloud, which never did before. And when we visited a client, in fact, they have very small room for IT operations. It was like 6 quadrat meters, no windows, secured connection, only one computer, and only 2 persons were eligible to actually do something on production. So very secured. And then public cloud, it's paradigm change. So there are many fears about security, then many fears about scalability, how it will work, how it's possible to migrate all the portfolio, how to establish connections so that the performance and the service will be on the right level. And also about the costs. Everybody was scared that now cloud vendors will put the unreasonable amount of price to serve this solution. Accenture proposed services to utilize Oracle Cloud Generation 2. And this Oracle public cloud was completely rebuilt and reborn a couple of years ago. Then it was like a completely fresh with a security as a part of the DNA and very good reliability, speed, performance, and cost. So we proposed that solution and also proposed migration approach. I don't know, maybe some of you already saw that Gartner research, but they provided different points how to put data into the cloud. It looks like a wave, but it starts from the bottom. And when we discussed this client's migration strategy with the client, then client business owners, they came into the room and say, hey, you know, please migrate what we have. Database servers, application servers, please do it, but please don't touch it. In a sense that nobody likes to find themselves in a situation that half a year they need to rebuild the system. They need to put themselves in the complex application development processes. They would like to optimize this move, this step. This is why we proposed rehost and little bit refactor. So it's not possible to take the data from the secure database center and move it into the public cloud. We did some refactoring, especially for interfaces. So we optimized the connectivities pool, we changed the certificates, we refreshed a little bit integration part, and then that was proposed to put it as a platform as a service. But then we proposed also journey to be continuing with some portion of rebuilding and even further on to replace some part of components to the cloud native solutions. And that's a very simple model that was applied. And before making very big steps and very solid steps to take this customer data and put it into the public cloud, there was a legal assessment done from various perspectives, from data compliance, from security, from legal, from operations. That was done. It took like about 4 months to get all the signatures on all the sign-offs, and then later this process was launched from this step and forward. So this model is kind of applicable for any potential project, for any potential client. About security, I have to say that Oracle Public Cloud, they created in a way that all the majority of security components like virtual private networks, network security groups, and kind of NAT stuff and all other components that created in a way to provide maximum security for the data. And that simplifies for us the job as integrators to put customer data in a very protective way, in a very protective environment. We analyzed the migration tools using different provided tools and techniques. We analyzed and scaled up the sizing for the client, and that was in very close collaboration with the client development department. And security measures allows client to keep monitor and control over the stuff which is happening. Right after the launch, there were discovered a couple of security attacks, a couple of hacker exercises, but thanks to the good protection and monitoring tools, everything was catched and eliminated. So the data was completely protected, even belonging in another data center. As a result, the client get already different benefits from this early migration process. The first one is cost saving realized. It's very simple. Instead of paying 100,000 euros for on-prem and licenses, then client migrated and start paying pay-as-you-go model. Very efficient. Then performance and were significantly improved. It was even better than the last time before working in on-prem. And business agility, meaning that customer keep control on what is on all the releases which is happening on the database. They don't need to ask somebody, some operational team or maintenance team to do the job. They can utilize native developer tools by kind of pushing releases into the database by themselves through all these staging environments, of course. Plus, again, IT security, it's a significant part of the OCI. It was really strong and really sophisticated, and it's allowed to protect and store data completely secure way. So what's next? Now clients is already having this cloud solution, but we don't want to stop there, and together with client develop it like a couple of next steps, how to move forward. What can be in the cloud? More cloud. So more cloud native tools like Kubernetes engines and platform upgrade already for the Oracle database being in the cloud to the next and modern version as we go. The same for application servers. And security additional enhancements, kind of another round. Currently, data and security measures are good enough. And as CIO told sometimes that now I can sleep much more better than before when we have the solution on-prem. Isn't it the highest appreciation what client people can say? Then the next continuation and story would be about multi-cloud solution. Remember, there was a portal, self-service portal developed in Azure, and then database migrated to the Oracle public cloud. And there is a collaboration between two vendors. It's called Express Route and Fast Connect. So we utilized this opportunity to make these two systems working together between data centers. It ultimately high speed, low latency, and high performance connectivity between Microsoft and Oracle data centers, which significantly allows to work in a multi-cloud environment without kind of losing the time and the response between the systems. The latency was a little bit more than 2 milliseconds, so it's really, really cool. That allows customer not to choose some vendor lock, like a preferred vendor location, and have some kind of limitations. There is no limitations. It's possible to use different cloud vendors for the solution that fits to the customer. And of course, this work would not be possible without change in organization. Before we started this engagement with the client, there were pretty much traditional ways of planning, of governance, of project management and delivery, pretty much traditional, sometimes called waterfall type of delivery, which is not bad, it just was. But then, when we started this engagement together with a client, there was a big room of people, and there was like a kickoff meeting, and we proposed Agile delivery, and then doing this kind of introductory speech together with the client people, and the delivery team was asking like an intro, okay, I'm developer, I'm tester, I'm test automation engineer, business analyst, functional analyst, and then client was saying, okay, I'm project manager, I'm technical project manager, I'm program manager, and then one analyst saying, sorry, you don't. There is no such roles in Agile delivery, so let's change the heads. And client people was brave enough, they understand that they also need to change. They went to the market and asked somebody to teach. We know how to work in many different methods, Scrum, Agile, Kanban, etc., Lean, Safe, whatever. But we were not kind of pushing client heavily to utilize kind of those kind of classical models. Instead, we're trying to find a way which will be more comfortable for the client people, which will fit their maturity level, and which will allows them to work comfortably. So then next day, they organized a meeting, 2 days, and the external Agile coach came into the stage and started kind of playing with us, modulating and explaining how this Agile delivery works based on Scrum Guide. I have to say it wasn't working very well from the day one as per the book. Nope. It takes some time. It was also a journey how to transform the delivery organization, how to transform mentality into the more agile ways of working. So what we came up, something similar to this diagram. Many of you who already work in Agile or Scrum, you understand these methods: requirements, release planning, iterations, then release preparations, release deployment, and then potential shippable product delivered. But my point here is that it took some effort for every person to understand their role, to change, and especially in public sector organization, people, they were brave enough to step into this role, and many people are challenging themselves and obtaining Scrum Master certification, product owner, PSM 1, 2, etc., etc. So they were training in that technology, in technology and in operations. So as a result of this collaboration, we experienced together with the client through all these years quite a lot. They are changing the way how they think. We changed the way how we offer. We were learning from each other quite a lot, and nothing went smoothly by the book. It was still kind of common effort. Then we tailored Agile processes according to delivery, and when a couple of months ago, after we started this journey, another departments started to see, hey guys, how are you working? They were initially looking for this program, and they would like to also utilize these ways, because the We started this bottom up and on one project, then we scaled it up to the program, and then after that scaled it next to other departments in the organization. So that was very positive change. And we educated each other. Team understand business processes, and business people, they understand more technology capabilities, how to develop these solutions together. So as a conclusion, how to work with organizations like in public sector, it's more about innovation. Innovation in daily routines, bringing some cool ideas, technology ideas, try to understand how to make these business processes more advanced. It's about drive the agility in decision making, in release deployment, for example. Try to understand the areas which are weak, which needs to be improved and optimized, reduce waste. And this is not only doing these iterations and or unattending unnecessary meeting, but creating together this kind of value stream which will be comfortable for every party and which deliver the value at the end. And also learn. We respect the client because they very kind of brave and open-minded people. They architecturing processes for the citizens, for the state. So they really making a big impact to the many thousands of people in the governance. And we learned how they think the services they provide, and they also learned again, technology capabilities. And this is about how Accenture is kind of operating towards the clients. We're looking for the long-term relationships. We're trying to create the value, we call it 360 value, across all the time and multiple dimensions. And we want to enrich whatever path the client choose. And yes, maybe you know that we also opened a center in Vilnius. It's nearby, it's here, and if you want to join us in delivering client value, then you're absolutely welcome. Thank you for attention. Now we have some time for the questions, if any.
First of all, thank you for your presentation. A round of applause from the listeners. Yeah. Where was the office in Vilnius? I couldn't understand the place. I think I know Vilnius quite well. Wait, where is it? Is it in the photo?
It's actually coming. In December, there will be another building.
Okay. I thought maybe
so
there is a place.
From one direction to another direction.
Great. Any questions to our speaker? Yeah. No? There were some listening. No? We can ask everyone personally here. No questions? Are on Pine? Okay, since it's already Thursday and it's as we call it, it's Little Friday, I think we can relax a little. So the question is, so Bogdan, are we going to see you at the party later here today at Bill's stuff?
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Are you going to the party today?
Yes.
First time?
First time.
Be careful. Be careful at the party. Crazy things happen there. Okay, so a round of applause for our speaker, and then thank you. We close the stage for today. That's it at our beta stage, and the only stage working for now is the alpha, the big stage. They are going to have a virtual presentation, and after that we are finished for the day. See you at the party once again, 9:30. We see you there. It's going to be until midnight, I guess. So I just recommend you not miss it, and I see you tomorrow. So thank you, and see you later.